They accompany with these two ladies, and we have a wonderful jazz band. Oh, they're leaving the stage. Let them hear it while they leave the stage, just temporarily. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you for making your way out here tonight. We have the fans going. You're all fans of what's going on here tonight. And I do want to say that I'm the traffic guy over in the BC Bay area. I'm not the weather, the meteorologist. And I had that excuse all planned out because we had, 100-degree weather a couple days ago. But since it's cooling down now, I'll say that I did that. But still, thank you very much. Sadly, though, San Jose, over the last few weeks, with the return to schools and the fall schedule, the entire South Bay has seen those traffic, basically those freeways gridlocked. And so, I will remind you that I'm just the messenger. I didn't make that happen either. So thank you for being here and causing a little gridlock down in Japantown tonight, and continuing to bring the traffic through the area, though. For 125 years, I guess, we're celebrating this being officially recognized by the census as a place where Japanese Americans live and congregate. But we're not just talking about residency. We're not just talking about where we pay our taxes. We're talking about where we live our lives, where we have our history and where we make our history, and the history that's laid forth for those who are coming in days later. So we appreciate all that you have done. As I said, I'm working in the South Bay, San Jose, and NBC Bay area. But I have a good long history here in the South Bay, as my grandparents had a shop here. They owned dry cleaners over by Fuji Tower and Foster Freeze. There was once a dry cleaner there. I was telling some folks earlier, the dry cleaner shared a common building. Half the building was my grandparents' dry cleaner, called personalized cleaners, and the other half was a fish market. And it never occurred to anyone until I asked the question, wasn't that really not a good idea to have a dry cleaner and a fish market share a common building? Apparently it didn't matter. Kids want their own room too, so apparently sharing rooms was the same sort of idea to them. So we move forward, we have progress, and yet we still keep our roots. We still have a lot of commerce down here, but we move forward with the times. We have a lot of our, now instead of being subject to government rules and regulations, and we'll talk about the alien land law and some of the repercussions on Japantown. Instead of being subject to those from our government, we are now being lauded, amended by our government. So we do have a number of elected officials who are supposed to be here tonight, but they have very packed schedules. Nonetheless, they committed to this because they wanted to be a part of the ceremony. And we're going to introduce them as they're able to make their way here tonight. Marilyn Carter was here at the last celebration we had across over at the Mountain View, at the San Jose Japantown just a few weeks ago. He wanted to be here tonight. His schedule didn't permit. We have a team from Team Perales. Raul Perales will be here shortly to make time in his schedule. He's at another event, but he's cutting out of there early so he can be here to present a couple of combinations as well. But right now, representing as California State Assembly member Nora Campos, we have Kevin Baum here. Kevin, you're here to make some presentations as well. I'd like you to give a round of applause to Kevin, but really it's for Nora, let's be honest. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Baum.
Thank you, Mike. It's very much, correct in that, I'll miss the pawn here. I know you'd all much rather have the assembly member be here, but nonetheless, it's a pleasure to be here as we celebrate Japantown's 125th anniversary. It's a wonderful celebration, but I, don't think we'd all be here if it wasn't for two particular individuals. John Heinlen and JB Peckham, who had the courage and the foresight to kind of stand up for their convictions during a time of rampant anti-Chinese and Japanese sentiment. They really kind of stood up for what they believed in and offered opportunities for the Chinese and the Japanese to, own businesses, own property, and so on and so forth. And, although they may be no longer with us, their legacy still stays with us, and all we have to do is just kind of look around and see kind of the thriving business and, sectors of Japantown to kind of really think back and say, this is what their legacy stands for. So with that being said, on behalf of Assemblymember Nora Campos and California State Assembly, we've got some certificates of recognition we'd like to present. One to John Heinlen, one to JB Peckham, and then one to Japantown's 125th anniversary. So if you all want to come on up and see these.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kevin Bond, representing North Campus Assembly member. Please give him and North Campus Assembly. Sorry, I was distracted for a second because I had not a sin, a misstep in his house. Well, not his house, but sort of a subletter, I guess, here. We have Reverend Keith here. I was supposed to keep the evening off with prayer. I got so excited about the evening. So you actually led prayer. Tell more of that. She was the lead speaker tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Reverend Keith for letting us have this wonderful ceremony here. And we'll kick it off in the proper fashion, please.
Thank you, Mary. It's okay, Mike. I'm We're cousins. We're both in Noahs. Welcome to Wesley United Methodist Church. We are so glad to be a part of this 125th year of history of San Jose Japantown. What a wonderful occasion this is. Thank you all for being here. Last month, the event at the Buddhist Church was such a wonderful event. We hope tonight is just as equally as wonderful. Richard Kogura, who is, I think, I would say the grand organizer of everything, asked me to lift up a prayer this evening to start us off. And I think that's really important because I think the spirit of San Jose Japantown is what really makes us unique here. You know, the kind of community spirit that we feel in this place, which is our home. So let us pray together. Almighty God, you who are known by many names, by many faith traditions, but whose character and nature is expressed and known most profoundly through love and compassion. You draw us together knowing that in cooperation and unity of spirit, we can do so much more good together than we can do alone. We thank you for the long-standing and rich history of this our San Jose Japantown community. 125 years. There is so much to be thankful for this place that represents home, community, culture, spirituality, the arts, generations and diversity, and so much more. We ask that you bless us this night, O God. Bless the performers who share their wonderful gifts of music and dance with us this evening. Bless this San Jose Japantown that we hold dear as we celebrate 125 years of this community. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Keith. And nice to be forgiven. He's your job. He's required to, actually, by a contract stronger than anyone that I could bring. Now, Keith jokes that Reverend Keith, you know it, Mike, you know it. He jokes that we're cousins. I'm glad that he jokes with it because my wife gets nervous when I joke that, you know, the Reverend and I are cousins or we're family related because she, first of all, thinks it'll bring down his reputation and credibility, by the way. And also, she's worried about the repercussions as well, so let her know it's okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we also are treated to many other folks who are supporting us. We want to mention the support from the government, which at one point didn't seem like it favored Japanese Americans as part of this history. Well, we have a lot of that. One of them, us. So I think we have a lot of commendations to talk about from Congress, but I just saw walking into the room because the room lit up. One of our good friends, friend from the community, is part of the community. You'll recognize him by his wonderful singing voice and he treats us to it later, but we can talk about that in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Mike Heinlen.
Hey Mike, isn't he great? He does everything that we ask him to do. He should run for Congress. Anybody know anything about, what is that, 1,000 Cranes? You can laugh, you know. Well, it's a real pleasure to be here, and we have a congressional recognition that we read into the record of Congress, Anna S.U., Zoloff, and myself, to commemorate the 125th anniversary of the March. Now, a lot of us have a great history in our paths, in our history of individual and family crisscrosses over 125 years. And we know that we all belong to certain organizations that have established themselves and created a way for people to make community at times when things were not so great for Asian Americans in general, Japanese Americans specifically. And so we also know that there's a lot of things that we do not teach our children about who we are, what our community is about, and what our community has contributed, not only to this community, not only to this valley, but also to the state and this country. And so there's a lot of things that came out of Nihonmachi. And Nihonmachi, in my opinion, is the only true Nihonmachi, the only true J-Town, if you use certain definitions like, is there a cultural center? Yes. Are there churches that represent different religions? Yes. Are there businesses owned by Japanese Americans? Iseis, Niseis, Sanseis, and is it still continuing? Yes. Is it changing? Of course it's changing. But the third is, do the people who live here, work here, have the businesses here, and do the community, even though they be dispersed within the area, come back here? Like the swallows, come back. Yes. Do we have cultural activities on an annual and regular basis? Yes. And so, you can answer yes to all those questions. You have truly a Nihonmachi. Other people who do things like maintaining the history of this area so that other people learn about who we are and what happened here. Yes, we have our local museums. And then, have there been other artistic things that happen here that reflects our culture and the adaptation that our culture has made in this country? Yes. We have everything from Suzume no Gakko to our churches to the language schools. We also have groups like Taiko. We also have pool halls. How many remember pool halls? Forget a pool hall, you want to learn, right? I just remember the coffee shop, Hank's Coffee Shop. Raise your hands if you remember. Just interact with you guys. Come on, don't be so Japanese. That's a joke. Don't make Japanese bad because then they'll forgive you. Remember. And so, here over the 125 years, we know that things have been concluded, people have done things. Everything from cargoes at certain barbershops, right, to places that fix our cars, to things that we've done. So this is a time to celebrate and to say, one of the things, we say, yeah, I remember the place where the midwives lived, so we can provide birthing services to those who have children here because they didn't let Japanese Americans go to the hospital, right? And so we accommodated our own people. And we had a hospital across the street. My mom was born here in 1916. So we can all say some of that stuff that this happened to us too. And so what's the value of all this? The value of all this is that we remember and we're introspective about them. Then we ask ourselves, what other values does it? The other value is that we provide ourselves as templates for newcomers who come so that they do not face the same kinds of things that our people have faced. So that it's a better place because we have learned throughout the experiences that other people have to do the same thing, that we paved the way. We did that. When 9/11 happened, the unique case of this country got together. We stood side by side with those people who were going to be targeted because of 9/11, because of war hysteria, because of fear or race, and also because we want to make sure that the political process works for us. And so, I just had to go off through all this because it's very rare that we get an opportunity to get together to share this stuff. Recall, remember, and then reflect, and to return. So, who's going? Mr. Kogura. Are you the same girl, the little girl family? No. Oh, okay. Anyway, here is the congressional record, the MSU Zoloff and myself have read into the records of Congress, and they'll be there for perpetuity. And so we just would like to have you accept this on behalf of the three congressional members that represent this area.
Thank you, Congressman Honda, or Mike. Everybody call me Mike. Call me Mike. Just hanging out. That's what we love. We represent it as if you know what we're talking about. Mike knows what we're talking about. Very familiar with this. And that's what a lot of our council people and Congressman, Secretary Minette. Norm Minette. We can call him Norm. Uncle Norm. The airport guy. The airport guy couldn't be here tonight because he had been called by our government, his boss, and they said, could you please come and make a presentation on behalf of the Smithsonian. Now, I don't know where's Kathy. Kathy over there. Kathy, I'll get this right. So, Secretary Mineta was asked by, I know this is for the Smithsonian. He was asked personally by the regents of the Smithsonian Institute to the introduction of their new secretary, the person in charge of the Smithsonian. So when someone at that level asks you to introduce somebody else at that level, Secretary Mineta very, very regrettably had to pull out at the very last minute. A colleague of his is taking ill, and so he had to fill in. But we're not just saying that. We're not just doing lip service saying he's sorry he couldn't be here, but he knows it's a very important amount of time, a very important recognition. Thank you, Kathy. The importance of tonight is so important that, first of all, we recognize the Heinlen family, which Kevin talked about. Heinlen turned into one of these areas into Chinatown. Before it was Japantown, we had a Chinatown here. And that kind of went unrecognized and unacknowledged for years and years, until they started building the new Fairmont downtown. We all know about the Fairmont. What we didn't know was what the Fairmont would uncover. The Fairmont uncovered a lot of relics, basically local relics from what was Chinatown here. Referred to as Heinlenville on behalf of Mr. Heinlen. And you should read Connie Young Yu's book. It talks in depth about all of the changes that went here and how this man was revered because of his generosity. In short, what Richard was telling you, I think, was because of that generosity of spirit and just flat-out generosity, the Heinlens kind of didn't have much left for themselves. They gave so much. But what they did give was a foundation for an area that was accepting of the people. And that Chinatown is in the same area that later became Japantown. So we're talking about another significant family that took place during another very significant time of history. Now, Secretary Mineta was here to introduce to thank the descendants of JB Peckham. They're here tonight, but I'd like to read what Secretary Mineta has said, just so you know he's not paying lip service and saying, yes, this is a very important time. It's a very personal connection that he has. His letter is in the program that we have, but I'm going to read much of it right now. Many of the businesses in San Jose Japantown came about and were successful and prospered without harassment of alien land law questions or violations because of Mr. JB Peckham's work. For those who are unfamiliar, correct me if I'm wrong on this, the alien land law specified that non-native people of Asian descent were not allowed to own land in their name. So that meant basically all of our first generation that came over, they were not allowed to own land in their name. And anyone under 21 couldn't own land either, so their descendants could, even if it was named in name only. There was no possibility of that. Well, the Peckhams were a great family, and they contributed so much to the economic stability of Japanese families and other Asian immigrant families affected by the Alien Land Law and the Oriental Exclusion Act of 1924. Secretary Mineta said, I'll read his words, I know that I will always be eternally grateful for the stands that Mr. Peckham took in he was berated as a J-Jazz lover, a Jap lover. In the 30s, the 40s, and even into the 50s, the time when we see the show Happy Days, everything looked so great and so liberal for the time, but there was still a very different feeling in the air. He was a good friend. JB Peckham was a good friend of his father, his family, and an attorney to many families in the Santa Clara Valley. And because of the alien land law in California, Mr. Peckham held land in his name until the oldest native-born child in the family of various families turned 21. He would then transfer the land to that child. So, for example, in the case of the Menendez, Mr. Peckham held land that his father had bought in 1928 to build their family home over on North 1st Street. And then, when his oldest sister, Aya, turned 21 in 1936, she was then listed as the legal property owner, just transferring it over without any hassle, without any sort of conflict. He did this for many Asian families in Santa Clara County, but as knowledge about what he was doing spread, he ended up then doing this for families in San Mateo, San Benito, and Monterey counties as well. So if you look at the property rolls in the 20s, 30s, and 40s in the counties he mentioned, you see Peckham on all of these parcels of land. And you say, boy, this guy's really rich, but he was just holding it because people trusted him. And he was holding it, all those were impacted by the alien land law until their oldest native-born turned 21. As a result, the Japanese and Japanese Americans at the time of evacuation and internment did not have the property taken by the government, because the property in question was officially owned by someone who was legal, Mr. Peckham. So the land stayed with them. And so when they came back, during resettlement after the war, there was a place to resettle. So when we talk about the importance to the Mineta family, well, that's undeniable. When we talk about the importance to Japantown, well, you see, without a place for people to resettle, there would not have been resettlement. Without resettlement, there would not have been the Japantown that we have. And so much was the influence, and so much was the word that got out because of this action, that when folks had to leave the area or evacuated, we should say, from the area, there were 3,700, let's say, in this area. They expanded to over 6,000 after the war days. San Jose is one of the last 3 surviving Japantowns, as Mike has said, in the continental United States. And in large measure, that's because of JB Peckham's long-standing support. Without that support, we wouldn't have had the roots and strong foundation that we have today. So as we're talking about Japantown here in San Jose, it's a true Japantown. It's a community where people live, people work, people have grown up for generations because the roots were here and they were allowed to grow. We did races of the roads that were laid forth, the footsteps from the Heinlen family, and of course the Peckham family as well. Now, Richard, are we supposed to call the Peckham family for acknowledgements? All right. We'd like to call the Peckham family for some words, and I'm sorry I didn't get the names before. Please come on forward.
I do not have prepared comments. It wasn't asked to prepare comments, but I do have 2 thoughts which are running through my mind these days. One of which is that I've said before many times that we have received more from the Japanese community this community. So, we abbreviate. And beyond that, there's the past leads to the present. And there is meaning in that past for us today because, frankly, bigotry is still alive and will remain alive. And it is because of the inclusive people of this community, all of us here, and people like us, that acts of bigots get suppressed in this country and do not take hold. Just thank yourselves.
we did mention the Heinlen family. Now, no representatives from the Heinlen family are available these days. So we talked about their sacrifice and the footsteps, though, that were there. You don't have footsteps to follow if no one laid them down. And one who knows very well what that took and what has happened since is a woman whose work, we recognize a lot of the writings here taken from her book. I'm just going to ask her to come forward because she has so much better information than I do, and her words mean so much more. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Connie Young Yu.
This is a huge honor, and I'm just as moved as you are, Mr. Peckham. First of all, obviously, I'm not a Heinlen. There are no Heinlen descendants in San Jose. John Heinlen's children never got married, and they didn't have any children, and there are a lot of ideas about that. The family was ostracized. I have to tell you that when people talk about the name John Heinlen, how revered he is, and how honored he was, not in his lifetime, but in his lifetime, certainly by the Chinese and the Japanese. John Heinlen was born in Germany. He came as a 2-year-old with his family to Ohio, came west to become a farmer, and of course, this is what happened to all the farmers that came in the 1850s and 60s. The only labor and only farm workers that they could hire and that they could work with were Chinese. They did not realize that Chinese and Japanese were the major labor force at one time, and the Chinese were the earliest. So, anyway, John Heinlen knew the Chinese, and he actually worked with them. He started leasing land to him, and leasing, I say leasing because it's like you have an equal partner. He recognized Asians as human beings when other people did not. My grandfather came to San Jose as a laborer at the age of 11 from southern China, and he came to in 1881, 1 year before the exclusion law. He came to a thriving, huge Chinatown that was home base for thousands of workers in the valley. And he became one of those workers. He made bricks, he picked strawberries, he was a houseboy, and when he was 17 years old, he was coming back one day, and he'd always have to run because he was in a white area, rocks would be thrown at him. He told me this. And he went to the Chinatown, and a blaze had started. On May 4th, 1887, the Chinatown was burned to the ground by anti-Chinese arsonists. And you'll know some of this history from, reading and know the history of Japantown after Korea. And it gives you some of that detail. But the Chinese had no home. They were homeless. My grandfather didn't know what to do. He took the train to San Francisco, but he always wanted to come back to San Jose. Within 10 days, John Heinlen met with Chinese merchants to negotiate building a new Chinatown on 5 acres of this pasture land, which is right down the street. And the town, the city of San Jose was furious. If you read the newspaper from those times, it said Chinatown is dead, it is dead forever. And then the next articles were that John Heinlen essentially was the most hated man in San Jose. There's a torchlight march in this neighborhood of 2,000 people right here, saying down with the Chinese must go. John Heinlen is a traitor to his race. John Heinlen, I have to say aside, was a Methodist Episcopal. He was a member of this church. And in 1869, see, I'm trying to think of the motivation. Why would he feel this way? But in 1869, the church he belonged to was burned to the ground in San Jose for teaching by an arsonist who wrote a death threat to the minister, condemning the church for teaching Bible classes to Chinese. And within months, they raised money to rebuild that church. But that was the atmosphere. You have to realize that much courage and daring it took for one man to go against the tide of the whole community. And the city council, this is very ironic, the city council met with him, marched to his house. The mayor, they were begging him, please don't do this. Do not do this. But John Heinlen said, it wasn't even a question. He made a contract with his friends, the Chinese, and he considered them his friends, and vice versa. And the Chinatown was built. It was a thriving, beautiful Chinatown. It's hard to imagine it because in its later years it was very, very much diminished because of the exclusion law. And what people remember were, just some very run-down stores and gambling houses. But at one time, it was a home to many families and merchants and home base for all the workers in the valley. There were Chinese big festivals, beautiful summer festivals and New Year's. And I know this because my father told me. He said it was a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up. And they went to integrated schools, the children went to integrated schools. And then in 1890, John Heinlen released for the Japanese who were coming in. And they came to Heinlenville because there was no place in San Jose that would welcome them, no place to find lodging except Heinlenville. And Heinlen soon leased land to them, and Japantown was established. So Heinlen stayed not one community, but two. So the legacy, I am not a descendant of John Heinlen, but in spirit I feel like I'm a descendant of Heinlenville, as all of you here, symbolically. And this, I did prepare a few notes, and I feel I should read them, because the rest was extended, because I feel, I hear so many wonderful words from my father and others who know this history and feel this history. But I want to say, here I got a beautiful certificate from the Assembly of California, and I think there are some others coming. And I'd like to say, because of John Heinlen, our city of San Jose has an inspiring legacy because of him, inspiring legacy and a brave, courageous one instead of a shameful past. He started the course of diversity of race and culture that characterizes our community. And because of John Heinlen, there is an enduring Japantown that is welcome to all people. This community, all of you have never forgotten it. It has never forgotten those who have helped them. But there has never been any official recognition from the city of San Jose to the man who was the founder of Chinatown that became Japantown until now, this moment. This commendation, all these commendations recognizing what John Heinlen did are so important for not only for our community, but for future generations. For next generations to know the story of John Heinlen and to be inspired and proud and to have a role model, to be brave. And it's also to give newcomers to Silicon Valley. Everything in Silicon Valley is old. It's not like, right now. But this past is enriching us for the future. The message is there was once such great people here like John Heinlen and Robert Peckham. And this is the community you would want to live in. And we all stand on their shoulders. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you to Connie for being here and for explaining a lot of the context, because when we don't understand the situation, we either don't understand the sacrifice or we don't understand the motivation. And I think with your work, we can understand both. And that puts us together in really the character of the man. And we really appreciate that. So do check out the book if you haven't. And check out the Fairmont. Anybody here from the Fairmont? Never mind, but a door, freedom or something like that. In any case, next up, we do have another wonderful guest who has made time in their schedule to come out here. Now, she presented over at the August 25th Santa Clara County Supervisors Board meeting. She presented a certificate earlier, commendation actually earlier, but I would like to call her forward just for a shout out. what can I call Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, Santa Clara County Supervisor from the Board of Supervisors, Cindy Chavez.
Well, it is an honor to be here, and I'm sure I will be the loudest person today that you have up here. My name is Cindy Chavez, and I do serve on the County Board of Supervisors, but more importantly, I served as a downtown city council member working with Japantown for many years, and have spent much time in this room at many community meetings to talk about how we were to rebuild and maintain and protect Japantown. The reason I wanted to be here tonight is because the 125 years of Japantown means something I know different to you who are part of this legacy for generations, and those of us who've become part of the legacy more recently. And I want to start by telling you a very quick story about my conduct. When I very first got involved in community work here, I was working in the labor movement, and we were fighting for the rights of workers to make a decent wage who were doing all kinds of work here. And some of the first leaders I had an opportunity to meet was Mike Honda and Norm Mineta. And when I decided to run for office, it was Mike Honda and Norm Mineta and other leaders like that who said having a Mexican-American woman would be good. The openness was frankly more open than almost any other community that I've gone to. And not too long after I met Mike and I read a hearing where a whole bunch of workers were coming forward and telling their stories in Spanish and English, a couple in Vietnamese. And the room was very tense and very hot, and just people just very emotional. And Mike in Spanish responded to them by telling them how much he could feel and understand where they were coming from. Now I was sitting next to Mike, so I watched the whole room, 100 Latinos, do this. They were so perplexed by his Spanish. Not that it wasn't good, but they were like, he's speaking Spanish to us. And after they got over that, we all started to understand something very important about the place that we choose to call home. Santa Clara County is a beautiful place. It gets better every year because of Japantown and places like it and the leaders in it. So the reason that I wanted to be here tonight is to say this. To all of you who have protected it, nurtured it, grown it through the arts and through business and through history and through simply a labor of love, I'm here to say thank you. Being one of 3 Japantowns in the country doesn't honor the Japanese American community, it honors our entire community. And I'm really grateful to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. It's stories like these where you get to understand the character of our area. It was once called Valley of Heart's Delight, right? Because of the wonderful foods that came, Heart's Delight, all to Heart's Content, kind of like dim sum, right? It's delight. And so that was a really good name. But I think that sort of the cornucopia of the different varieties of life-sustaining agriculture that came from here says there's a parallel there with regard to the makeup of Silicon Valley, Santa Clara Valley. And so that's something that we've always taken pride in. And you may not realize it until you travel out of the area. For me, it was when I went to college, and I was exposed to folks from different areas outside of this portion of California. And it was shocking sometimes to find what they weren't exposed to. So, again, as Supervisor Chavez said, this is a place where we should be proud to be a part of because it adds to the very rich texture within the United States. We are also very proud now to have with us one of our newest members in the San Jose Council, City Council Member Halau Wa Nai Ola. Now, he represented the city in law enforcement, keeping us safe, and now he's watching over us on the council bench as well. And today he's here in some really fine footwear. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome City Council Member Halau Wa Nai Ola.
Thank you, and thank you for recognizing my footwear.
Yes.
There's also a nice bell buckle too. This is my honor to be here this evening. Apologize for being slightly tardy. It was a bit of a busy day today, running around, but it really is an honor to represent this community. It's not obvious on first look. I am not Japanese, but I grew up, and my very first friend, since the age of 4, is Japanese American. And we grew up together, and I grew up here in San Jose, actually in West San Jose. And I believe the first memory that I have of Japantown was about 6 years old. We came out here for a Nobon festival. And I came out with my friend, my Japanese American friend. His family brought me out. And we came out and enjoyed the culture. For me, it was normal. For me, having grown up here in San Jose, I had, my friends were all from all different ethnicities, from different nations, different religions. And to me, that was just normal. So when I was here, I just enjoyed it as if this was home, not knowing at that point that this was one of 3 remaining Japantowns in our country. Didn't know that significance of this place at that point. To me, it was part of San Jose. And years, continued after that, and I loved downtown. I finished up at San Jose State and moved into the downtown, and I've always enjoyed San Jose. And it wasn't until my later 20s that I learned really the deep history that this community has and how unique it was, being one of the only 3 remaining. And then digging deeper and learning really about Chinatown preceding Japantown. And then we speak about the 2 gentlemen that we honor tonight, and Mr. Heinlen that offered up after 2 Chinatowns being burnt down, having that land being offered up that then now has turned into what we have as one of the 3 remaining Japantowns. And then subsequently following that, through the potential loss of land that a lot of individuals faced, and unfortunately a lot of individuals from the Japanese American community actually suffered. We have Mr. JB Peckham that helped the community here to preserve that land. Something that I can imagine at that point he kept very quiet, was not smiled upon, was rather frowned upon. But he did it because what he had is he had the good in his heart to look at individuals as people, not as a race, ethnicity, a color, whatever it might be. And this was long before my time of being able to grow up here in San Jose, where I actually grew up in that culture, where I didn't see that difference. He grew up in a time and lived in this time where we did see those differences, and unfortunately even our nation did, and did some things that we regret. But fortunately he was able to hold on to that land for a lot of families here in this community, and we preserved it. We preserved Japantown now for 125 years, what we celebrate this year. And so now, in the role that I represent, growing up as that kid, being here at 6 years old, not understanding the significance, to now the city council representative for this area, I take an extreme amount of pride in representing this area. And it's an honor for me to be able to recognize these 2 gentlemen today. And we have David Tran from my office is here. We've got a couple. We actually found out that the city of San Jose has restrictions on doing commendations for individuals that have already passed on. Something we didn't know until we looked into this. And then we said, those are just pieces of paper with plaques anyways, let's just do something much nicer. So we bent the rules. So we have 2 plaques here, and I'll read them off. We have this one here in honor of JB Peckham, friend and adversity to the Japanese settlers of San Jose, on behalf of myself here in the city of San Jose. And then in honor of Mr. John Heinlen, builder of the Chinatown known as Heinlenville, on behalf of San Jose and myself.
Thank you very much. This is in honor of the legacy of John Heinlen. And this beautiful award will be at the Japanese American Museum of San Jose down the street until Heinlenville has a place for it at the site.
Thank you. Thank you very much as well.
Thank you all very much.
enjoy the rest of your evening.
I was looking at his belt buckle for those of you who couldn't see exactly what was going on there. Speaking of video, Dwayne's here. Those of you who saw the short video earlier, in its entirety, it was shown in its entirety at our previous celebration over at Buddhist Temple, where you saw the Chidori band and others play, and there was some Japanese dancing going on there. That's going to be viewable on the YouTube channel for J-Town. How many of you, with a show of hands, knew that there was a YouTube channel for J-Town? All right, good. So we should have at least that many subscribers. But if you go to YouTube and look up J-Town, J space town space community, and you'll find our channel. Subscribe to that, please, and it will teach you about what's going on here and keep you in touch, because Dwayne's group also puts the town hall meetings. That's Supervisor Chavez has been a big fan of them. And you know, they tell you what's going on, the development plans, the redevelopment plan, as Don was here talking about those plans that have been put forth by the city. We call them different names, different organizations, and different budgets, and we're always working to keep improving this downtown area. We're so proud of it. So you do please subscribe to that. Also, I see some fans going, and some folks out for water. Over there, when you came in, some of you got the bottles of water with a special label on them. There's also some cookies in the back. From time to time, you want to get up, stretch your legs, and get a break. Water and cookies are here, provided by Wesley United Methodist Church. Let's give them a round of applause. That's our regular one, but I was on a special one to use. And Buddha's not enough. All right, next up, we are going to be treated to a group of folks that we met. I'm told that they don't have really a home. I don't want to call them homeless, but they don't have a permanent place. They get together about once a month, and they decide what they're going to wear. So they have their monthly meeting. They all agreed on a shirt, and then they brought a stringed instrument with them called the ukulele. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with our concert portion. And please welcome to the stage, or to this performance area, our friends from the Wesley Ukulele Band.
Aloha, everyone. Welcome. So glad to have you all for the 125 years of Japantown celebration. That's so amazing. We have an eclectic set of music for you here that spans those years. The oldest one you'll see in your program is Aloha Oi. It actually was written before the 125, more like 130 years ago. But you'll also see the different years that the songs were composed. We won't be doing all of those songs because we want to make sure that you can all get out of here at a reasonable hour. But we hope you will enjoy our selection. First song is called Hue Omuide. We'll be singing it in Japanese. Some of you might be more familiar with the English name Sukiyaki. Here we go. might recognize it from something like Beach Party Bingo, or kind of before my time. But here we go.
The song is called Blue Hawaii. One, two, three, four, one.
The night is young. and so are we. Dreams come true in blue of Hawaii, and I come true this magic night of nights with you.
Play a song for you featuring the Wesley Choir. This is called Yesu, and it is about 125 years old. Very old song.
Oh,
please. Yeah. Would you like something?
from Halau Wa Nai Ola. They will be dancing sophisticated hula. Come on out, ladies. Halau Wa Nai Ola is behind, and that's what I'm 60.
and it's called Halau Wa.
for your pleasure.
I'm Paige Mata, and I'm going to be playing a song called In a Little Heaven.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, whoa, Jake, come back here. Right there, Jake Shimada. Right there, give it up. You got something else to play? We got Halau Wa Nai Ola coming up, right? So are you guys just going to play right into it? Well, let's go then, ladies and gentlemen. It's a name that you think you heard. It sounds like Shimabukuro. Jake, very similar. I think we're going to hear your name coming up a lot more very soon, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jake Shimada, and also coming up, Halau Wa Nai Ola.
I'm going to be playing Heinlen.
Yeah. Can I talk for a few minutes? She never seen me before. In fact, you know what? While they get set up, we're going to let them get a little bit of a pause there. Take a little break. One more hand for the ukulele band here, Wesley Ukulele Band. And as the wave is here, we want to point out the fact that I don't know if you noticed, but a number of those members were doing double duty, playing ukulele, singing. That's two things at once. But also then, some of the folks will come out of the band and start doing hula. Others from the hula will go back and be in the band. That's double duty. One of those also doing double duty, who was with Halau Wa Nai Ola, you may see her once again, was Kathy Sakamoto. She's right there in the back. One of our organizers, Kathy. Now, Kathy's one of the three organizers that are here. We also have Mike Yoshi. Where's Mike? Well, Mike's getting ready with the band, right? Mike's getting set. So Michael Yoshihara, who plays the Wesley Jazz Band here, but also plays the Shigori Band, which is part of the other presentation. So Michael Yoshihara, give him a round of applause, but he'll be back here at the end. And then, of course, we have another doing double duty here. His name is Richard Kogura. Now, he's actually doing triple, quadruple duty. He's serving as sort of my interface here between the organization and what I'm supposed to say. He set this whole thing up, though, with the other two. They got this whole 125th celebration all arranged. Oh, yeah, big round of applause. And this is the same Kogura, for those of you who don't know. It's on the sign. On the 6th, just on the corner there. That's where you're going to see that wonderful sushi shark or shark shimi. No, not sushi shark will be in the window, the corner window. So another iconic part of Japantown. So another place where you take pictures, you post them on Facebook, and you tag San Jose Japantown, and people go, "Oh, I've never been there," and then they come. All right. So I'd like to call Richard up. You want to say a few words? You want to do that a little bit? You have to go. Yes, ready to go. Oh, you're ready to go. Oh, Richard doesn't want to talk. You don't want to hear me. So we're going to hand it off to Halau Wa Nai Ola.
Anniversary celebration. So say aloha.
Aloha.
We're going to take you to ancient Hawaii, to the island of Molokai, where we speak of the many winds of the island. The winds of Molokai. Ahel.
Kamakani.
Makani puai oe ke kula papulua. Makani puai oe ke kula papulua. Makani puai lua ke peo kaluni. Makani puai lua ke peo kaluni. Kala belai makna huki hao makikai. Kala belai makna huki hao makikai. Anu anu kamaluka makani hao kamino. Anu anu kamaluka makani hao kamino. Papa hao wela makani tikaloa. Papa hao wela makani tikaloa. Makani ni molokai makani ni papulua. Makani molokai makani ni papulua. Makani puai oe ke kula papulua. Makani puai oe ke kula papulua. Makani puai lua ke peo kaluni. Makani puai lua ke peo kaluni. Kala belai makna huki hao makikai. Kala belai makna huki hao makikai. Anu anu kamaluka makani hao kamino. Anu anu kamaluka makani hao kamino. Papa hao wela makani tikaloa. Papa hao wela makani tikaloa. Makani molokai makani ni papulua. Makani molokai makani ni papulua. Those are the winds of Molokai. We're going to take you to Moana in Hawaii, to the island of Maui. Oh, you guys are such a captive audience. While we're waiting for the musicians, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Aloha, because this whole program, and the reason why this community has thrived for so many years is because of the Aloha. Love, kindness, compassion, and grace, and neighborly Aloha, love for one another. So the hulas that we perform today are all going to be about the Aloha spirit. So we're going to take you to the island of Maui, and if you've been there before, I want you to clap and cheer, and the girls are going to dance the hula using the different hula implements. We're going to take you to Halau Kala, House of the Rising Sun. All this buildup has got to be really good, right? All right, here we go. And they say how it stands through all time, and it weathers any storms. And it really speaks in kauna and veiled meaning of the beautiful kupuna, an elder of the community, who led graciously from behind the people of the area. Just like there are these people, the community of Japantown, that help this community to thrive. So this song is Ayakale Kauiki, we dedicated to this beautiful celebration. Standing majestically in the white mist, there it comes. The sound of the waves calling to the birthplace of Queen Ka'aumanu. with a little bit of aloha. So in aloha, it means hello and goodbye, love, compassion, grace, and kindness. But it also means to share it with other people. So not just to keep it to yourself, but to share it, just like we've done in Japantown. And we're so grateful. We've been part of Japantown for the last 5 years now. We're so welcomed by the Aloha spirit here. So you guys have been a wonderful audience. You didn't clap every time I told you to clap, and you didn't woo-woo every time I told you to woo-woo. But this time you're going to spread the aloha, right? So put your arms up, get ready. Follow these girls. Okay, we're going to make an A and an L. Don't mind if they're doing it backwards. Just do whichever way you want to do it. O, H, A. All right, let's try that again. Ready? A, L, O, H, A. There we go. Now, it goes a lot faster, but that's pretty good so far. Now, the other thing you're going to do is we're going to take a dip in the ocean. So when you hear them say, let's take a dip in the ocean, you're going to make your hands like waves. All right, so make your waves. And it's so good in that water, it feels so good. Because it's been hot, you're going to make a shaka sign. Yeah, everyone knows what shaka is. It's hang loose, right? So let's try the A-L-O-H-A. Ready? A-L-O-H-A. All right, Mike, try A. Very good. Now let's take a dip in the ocean. All right, listen to the words.
Well, what's your names? JD and? Vinny, all right. Vinny, JD, real quick, we're talking about all the history that we have here at Kumakawi. Give nice credit to the members of the community who have helped keep the community strong, such as she could have her Halau here. And now moving us forward into some more traditions. We have a lot of Hawaiian traditions that have come in over the last couple of decades. We have Hukilau, we have a lot of the island traditions, Aloha traditions, for example, DK traditions, and we also have our past, though. We don't want to forget, we have Chinatown, which is part of our history. We have Japantown, which is our present, but also a very significant part of the history of this area were some other settlers from Pacific Islands. Ralph Pierce is here, first of all. Ralph's book, just to read, well, first of all, he had Asahi to Zebras. Ralph, you still here? In the back? Right, wave the fan there. Ralph's got a more recent work with Curtis Fukuda, and that's the history of Japantown. And if you want to get it in a hard copy, which I would, it's a beautiful book, but it's about 50 pounds. I'm not sure how much it is. It's about the sack of rice weight. But Ralph also brought to my attention that we have Mr. Robert Radzek is here. Where's Robert? Right over there. Now, stand up, Mr. Radzek. Now, Robert is one of the members of the original Filipino community here, the Ilocano community that's been here since the 1920s. A big part of our history as well. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge all the folks who have helped us build our community. Once again, to our Filipino brothers and sisters, the Ilocano community is be here and is still here today. And helping us acknowledge that 125 years, as we said, is a member of the Kogura family. You see his name in lights, which someday I hope to see my name in lights as well. But for now, you'll hear his name from my voice. It's Mr. Richard Kogura. Ladies and gentlemen, the organizer for tonight.
First of all, if you guys are in Japantown, you know I don't work at the store. It's my 90-year-old mother, my sister Carolyn, who's taken over for my father, not me. I'm just trying to help with the Japantown Business Association. And we'd like to thank Wesley Methodist Church for hosting this event. Thank you, Reverend Noah, Reverend Hajian Yamamoto, and Reverend John Visitation. Thank you so much. And thank you to the Wesley Jazz Band, the ukulele group, and the hula group, and let's get going.
evening, everybody. We're the Wesley Jazz Ensemble right here from Wesley United Methodist Church. Thank you very much for having us perform this evening. We'd like to continue on. Now with the beautiful Duke Ellington medley, Take the A Train and Sept.12.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This next number is going to feature you. We're going to ask you to come up. We have Shizuko, Bev, and Naomi are going to lead you in a line dance. This first row of seats have to come up. And anyone else who would like to join this line dance, please come up and join us.
Mother eyes, they smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes, they smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you.
Thank you. Next is, we're going to feature Ted Hasagawa, who is our trumpetist, and he's going to bring you a standard from 1964 recorded by the Temptations. And it was a #1 hit, and he's going to sing for you. We certainly hope you enjoy our version of My Girl. Outside, I've got the month of May. I can say my girl, talking about my girl.
song was also a popular song composed by Burt Bacharach, and we'd like to play for you now The Look of Love, featuring Shizuko Adachi. If you'd like to dance to this next number, please feel free to come on the dance floor. Martin. Our next song was first recorded by Paolo Neri and was covered by Little Peggy March in 1963. This song was featured at the end of the 1992 film Sister Act, where it was performed for the Pope by the Nuns Choir directed by Whoopi Goldberg. We present an arrangement of that version by our own music director, Mark Teagle, and performed by the Wesley Methodist Chancel Choir. Please, we sincerely hope you enjoy I Will Follow Him. Wesley United Methodist Church Chancel Choir. We present a song first written for and recorded for by the Jackson 5 on Motown Records. Mariah Carey has covered this song. Here's Wendy Horikoshi singing I Will Be There.
Where there is love,
call my name, and I'll be there. I'll be there to comfort you. Will my road dreams around you? I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with a love so strong. I'll be your saint. I'll keep moving on. Let me fill your heart with joy and laughter. Togetherness, well, it's all I'm after. Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, yeah. Just call my name, and I'll be there. If you should ever find someone new, I know she better be good to you. 'Cause if she does, I'll be there. Don't you know, baby, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there, yeah, yeah. Just call my name, and I'll be there. Just call my name, and I'll be there.
Wendy, wonderful Steve. Our next song is from the mini album by Mika Nakashima. This album was limited to only 111,000 copies. The title track translates A Misty Moonlit Night Prayer. Here is Shizuko Adachi and Oboro Zukio.
I'll
For the Wesley Jazz Ensemble, we'd like to introduce the band on vocals, Mr. Ted Hasegawa, Mizuko Adachi. My name is Carol Noda and Wendy Horikoshi. Our rhythm section on piano, Marilyn Hasegawa, on guitar, Ben Shimizu. Also on guitar, Peter Horikoshi. On bass, Ichiro Bakoshi. On the drums, Todd Sugu. Thank you very much.
Richard, you want to come down? Let's give Wesley Jazz Ensemble another hand. And the Wesley Choir. And let's give Richard Kogura a hand for organizing not only this event tonight, but the great event.
Okay. What I'd like folks to know is that we have Connie Young Yu's book for sale back here and her DVD. The book on Chinatown, San Jose's Chinatown. So it's at the back at the Jams table back there, along with the San Jose Japantown history book. But we have her DVD on Common Ground, talking about San Jose's Chinatown and Japantown. So it's for sale back there. Thank you everybody for coming.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I was in the back there. The delicious cookies here, so I was kind of distracted. But I was listening and eating at the same time. And music. Once again, Wesley United Jazz Band, folks. Outstanding. Honestly amazed at how fortunate we are to have members of our community who bring out such wonderful entertainment and members of our community who come out in general. for such wonderful support. So thank you very much. Is anybody named Aki in the audience? Any Akis here? Any Akis? Anybody? Anybody know anybody named Aki? Anybody? Anybody? Well, tell all the Akis you know that there's a festival for them coming up. It's an Aki Matsuri. It's coming up here, and that's October 3rd from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So come on back here to Wesley United Methodist Church and come and sample their wares. It's a wonderful community event and a wonderful staunch supporter of all things community because, well, they are frankly a huge community here as well. Thank you once again to Reverend Key for being the host to us here, as well as for all of you folks for lending your time and all of your support. Now, you know the histories of Japantown. And if you want to know the current, what's going on, of course, subscribe to J-Town Communities channel on YouTube. That's the way you can get it. And if you don't know how, ask one of your grandchildren. They'll teach you through it. My kids have to talk. My son's been texting me all evening about the computer that we just built together. So I'll have to get home and see what he's done now. It probably flies. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for ensuring the future of the community. I get a thrill out of coming to these events. And my kids are now at the age where they can start joining us at these events. They didn't come tonight because my son got a last-minute invitation to laser tag. So, still, J-Town versus laser tag, not beating it in the 9-year-old's mind. Soon he'll understand what he's missing. Thank you for keeping J-Town alive. Thank you for what you've done to keep J-Town here. And thank you for what you do to keep this running smoothly. I appreciate all of your time here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, drive home safely, please. Enjoy your Sunday and stay out of the heat. And remember, I'm not the meteorologist, I'm the traffic guy. Take care.